The Batman stars Robert Pattinson as billionaire vigilante Bruce Wayne. But that doesn't really matter because The Dark Knight is taking center stage here. Batman is currently in year 2 of his crusade, and might have met his match when the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, goes on a killing spree. With the help of Detective Jim Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, an alliance with Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz, and of course the aid of Alfred Pennyworth, played by Andy Serkis, Batman will have to outsmart the Riddler and save Gotham City. What makes the Batman different from its predecessors is the focus on the detective side of the character. After all, he is called the world's greatest detective, so War for the Planet of the Apes director Matt Reeves leans hard into that aspect, creating a film noir tone evident from the movie's opening moments. The moody atmosphere and Michael Giacchino's outstanding score makes Gotham feel like a character in its own right, bringing that classic Batman comic book tone we've seen in classic stories like Batman Year One, The Long Halloween, and Hush. We're following Bruce on this journey, trying to solve these murders and uncovering the truth of Gotham's criminal underworld. This film rests on Pattinson's shoulders, and he delivers a very somber and reserved take on Bruce Wayne. This version of Batman is brilliant, a capable fighter, and operates on a strict sense of justice. It works for the most part, but a few issues do start to arise. We spend so much time with Bruce that the rest of the cast becomes an afterthought. This is a Batman story, so he needs to be the primary focus. But characters like Gordon, Alfred, and Colin Farrell's Penguin suffer from being underutilized. Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman stands out from the rest, but that's because she's given the most to do outside of Batman himself. With that said, though, I still found myself wanting more from Selina Kyle. She honestly deserved her own story removed from the Riddler plot, but maybe that's something we're saving for the sequel. Aside from Batman and Catwoman, the Riddler is a standout as well. He works as a perfect foil to Batman and keeps Gotham's Knight on his bat toes for most of the film. Dano delivers a strong performance as both a legitimately terrifying and sadistically deranged serial killer. Honestly, at times he feels like Heath Ledger's Joker, and that both works for and against the movie in general. The Batman has this near impossible task of succeeding the Dark Knight trilogy, and it comes very close to that quality of the Nolan films. Pattinson's emo take on the character works because he's still finding his way, even though he's darn good at this whole vigilante thing. It doesn't quite reach the Nolan levels though, because the character of Batman is so isolated to the point where you question if Gotham is worth saving at all. We see that, like in the comics, Gotham is a cesspool of crime and villainy, but the key difference in those stories is that there was always a glimmer of light. The film struggles to convincingly show that Gotham is worth fighting for, and why Bruce is willing to give his life for it. Adding a few moments of Bruce Wayne seeing the good in a character like a Lucius Fox or a Barbara Gordon would have made an enormous difference, making it feel like Gotham City isn't just the crime and villains that overrun it, but that those citizens are decent people worth protecting. Still, it doesn't ruin the film in any meaningful way, it just highlights why The Dark Knight is so special. The Batman is a truly fantastic film, and it shows why this character stands the test of time. However, it does struggle to balance its comic booky elements while also constructing a genuinely believable city with living, breathing characters. It's a film every Batman fan will love, but a casual watcher might grow tired of the Riddler's games, making for an enjoyable, albeit flawed, viewing experience. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this review, why don't you check out my short review of The Batman. Also, we have a spoiler discussion that's going to be coming out later this week when The Batman hits theaters, so stay tuned for that. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.